Awesome. So this will be recorded. So if you're here, we will definitely send you the replay. Oh my gosh, Anna Marie, you definitely got my eye with your name because we have three girls and they love mermaids and unicorns. So amazing name. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. If you're just joining us, we would love to hear where you are from and what you do. Like, what is your expertise? Who do you help? How do you help them? Just pop that into the chat. And then my other question, which I always really love to know, is how long have you been in our world? Are you pretty new to us? Have you been on our list for a long time? So I would love to hear that because I always love to know the answer to that. Anna Marie is a social media strategist from Las Vegas and new. Awesome. New. All right, so we have some new people here, which is super fun. All right, so oh, Dan, you have to let me share my screen.
All right, you should be good.
Perfect. All right, if you are just hopping on, we would love for you to introduce yourself in the chat and tell us where you are watching from. From St. Louis, help homeschoolers transition to community college. Amazing. Schaefer, were you on a training last week with us? Because I recognize your name. Okay, just let me know in the chat if you can see my screen. Okay, awesome. Yes, I remember chatting with you last week. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5-minute launch, which I am really, really excited about. And when I shared this with Dan this morning, we were both getting really, really excited because I don't know how many of you are here, but summertime for us is all about spending more time with our kids and spending time at the beach. And if you have been in my world for any period of time, then you probably know we talk about evergreen sales a lot. That is our primary way we sell everything we do and how we teach our clients to sell. Evergreen just means that you are basically, you have something to buy for your audience all the time. And for us, we think that is super important because we want you to be selling all the time. We want you to be making the money you want to make. We want you to be doing whatever you want to do, whether it's spend time with your kids, whether it is helping more people. So I would love to hear in the chat, what is your goal for the summer? Is it to make a certain amount of money? Is it to make a certain amount of time off? What is like your priority right now? Is it revenue or is it getting time back? Which one of the two? And you can also tell me something different. So just put that in the chat. And this is going to be super interactive. Automate more income, getting more time with my baby. Yes, we are very pro that. Revenue is our current focus. Okay, awesome. So where I'm going to show you how you can launch your program in 5 minutes, get high ticket sales this week from your existing audience without ads or any new content. So this is the thing that is really, really our specialty is how can you make money right now without overcomplicating things, without needing this gigantic audience, without needing to spend months and months and months planning a launch. How do you do this right now? So that's what we're going to talk about. So I would love to hear, if you would love to hear what excites you most out of this. Is it getting more sales out of your current audience? Is it not creating any new content? I would love to hear what excites you the most. More sales from current audience. More sales, yes. So if you're new to me and if you're new to our world, what we do is we really help experts. It's all of you are on here. You are experts. You are amazing at what you do. So we help experts who really want to get to 100K in evergreen sales in the next 6 months or less. And we do this by taking all of the complication and the overwhelm out. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you the 4 steps it's actually 5 steps because I added a bonus step. The 4 to 5 steps in the 5-minute launch today so you can actually go ahead and implement this. And now this is really important for those of you who you are committed to implementing the 5-minute launch in your business. Then Dan's going to put in the chat a scale session, because you're going to have an opportunity to apply for a one-to-one call where our team will actually walk you through this one-to-one. So you can actually see how this can work in your business, what your opportunity with it is, and kind of what the holes are. Like, what is the point that you really need to fill in so you can start making money every single week in a more automated way. And now we only accept people on these one-to-one calls that are going to be action takers, that are the people who are actually going to go and take our plan and go do it. So that's why we have an application, because we only have, I think it's 15 calls a month. We have 3 calls left for June, and we make sure that the people who are getting on the call are committed to actually using what we're going to talk about, and you're going to take action on it. So Dan's going to put in the chat, and you can apply for a scale session. So this is for you if you want a one-to-one call, you want to get walked through this on the call, and you basically want to skip the line. Okay, so let's talk about 5-ticket coaching sales this week, existing audience with the 5-minute launch. If you don't know me, I'm Nicole. In 2011, so over 11 years ago, I left my teaching career and I jumped into being an entrepreneur. I started as a health coach. I had a food business. I was a blogger. I ran summits online. We have helped local clients, and now we've done a lot of things in 11 years. I have been doing online marketing for 11 years with Dan and me. And now we really focus on people who want to take their expertise online, scale it to a 6- and 7-figure business, and do it in 10 to 20 hours a week so they can still spend time with their kids. So we help people take their launches and supplement their launches with evergreen sales. So why 5 minutes? You might be asking this question, like, what really is this? Why 5 minutes? Well, 5 minutes because you are busy. I am busy. It is summer and your people are busy. So there's a huge opportunity right now to actually do less planning out your launches and to get into this 5-minute launch and to really work with people who know that they want your help. And the truth is, the old launch model, and how many people have been launching? Let me know in the chat. When was the last time, if you have been launching, when was the last time you launched? Especially if you want to bring more automation into your sales, I would love to hear. Launched in May, all the time, 3 weeks ago. Okay, how do you feel? April, every few weeks. Okay, awesome. How do you feel about launching? Are you like, yes, I love launching and it's good and I want to add in evergreen? Or are you like, I hate launching, I never want to launch again? I would love to hear. Yeah, it's exhausting and fun, but exhausting. Don't love it. I hate launching. Don't love it. Roller coaster. Exhausting. Yes. Okay. This is exactly why in 2020, we got off the launch roller coaster for good. And the reason why we got off the launch roller coaster was, I won't go into too much detail, but if you have kids, I don't know if is anyone else parents here. We had all of a sudden, we had 3 kids home with us. We had no school. My mom was going through cancer treatment. Dan's dad passed away in March 2020, having nothing to do with COVID. And we said, we literally need a better way, because we were kind of like up to here. We didn't have the energy to launch. So we started developing this system to get into weekly sales, so we didn't have to go through that launching anymore. And now we actually can launch from a really energetic and excited and empowered place, as opposed to launching because I need money. And the truth is, for our audience, your audience is actually smart, and they don't, when you do this right with the 5 steps I'm going to show you today, your people do not need to sit through hours and hours of content to make a choice. to work with you. They are smart. And the truth is, if you learn to speak to your people in a way that they say, I want this, there's no reason why they need to watch 5, 10, 20 hours of content over 4 months to buy. And what we have seen, especially over the past year, is that people are willing to buy faster the more direct you are to them and the more you can speak to them in a way that says, I want this and I need this and I'm going to do it now. So I would love to hear, like, what was the last thing you kind of impulse buy? Was it a course? I just spent a few $100s on a course like a few days ago. And I'll share with you my process for that. But when was the last time you went online and you bought something? How long did it take you? And with Instagram and Facebook ads, right? That's happening more and more. So when was the last time you bought something like super fast? I would love to hear. A trademark took me 5 minutes. Okay, awesome. A week ago, constantly. So I buy things really fast all the time. And our audience is the same way. If you speak to them in a way that shows you're the expert and that they need what you have, we don't need to do these large, insane, huge launches that actually make people wait to buy. And the other side of it is like the last thing you bought quickly. You didn't need to be convinced, right? There was no one sitting there saying like, you need this right now. You just knew. And the same thing for your people. The right people do not need to be convinced to work with you. So let's get into this. So I would love to hear how that sounds to you. Does that sound exciting? Have you ever thought about that before, that the right people will actually pay you money and buy very quickly if you say what they want and need to hear? Have you ever thought about that before? And we're going to get into the right steps. That's my main struggle, getting people to buy now. Okay, awesome. So that's what we're going to talk about today, Jordan. The point is to be able to set up an evergreen system whenever you want with 5 minutes of prep. Now I'm going to share, I actually have a screen. If you can see my picture, this is what I went live. This is what I went live with last week. I actually took a picture of this and put it in the slides. This post-it is what I went live with last week that helped us end the week with over $90,000 in sales. I took not even 5 minutes of prep. I wrote down these 4 points because I knew what my audience was saying. I spoke to that thing and we had buyers directly on that Instagram live. And the point is to be able to set up this system whenever you want. So the first piece of this is your rockstar offer. And this is the part where you need an offer that people actually want. One of the biggest misconceptions and mistakes I see is that people try to prove their value by overloading their offer with so many things. And they want to over deliver, which is amazing, but it actually overwhelms people. So when you put together your offer in the right way with 5 key pieces, which if you want to know the 5 key pieces that gets people to buy quickly, apply for the scale session because we go deep in that there. And I can't do all of that here just because of time. So apply for the scale session if you want to know those pieces. So have you ever bought, we talked about this already, but have you ever bought something in just 5 minutes? If you have, it was something you actually wanted. And this, like, if you just walk away with this key piece, if you can figure out and talk to your people about the thing they actually want, the thing that they actually want. So our people, they actually want to add in an automated evergreen system. That's what they actually want. But when I start talking about other things, that's when I lose them. So you need to figure out the one thing, like what is the one thing that they actually want help with? So do you know what that one thing is that they actually, and inside our Elevate program, we actually call that the cheese. If you think about a mouse, the mouse just wants the cheese. So it's that one thing that your people want help with. So what is that one, like that one hook thing for you? I would love to hear and you write that in the chat. And if you don't know, that's okay. We can talk about that after. I'll make sure I leave time for questions. The most important part of your Rockstar offer is to figure out the cheese, to figure out what is that one thing that people want. Because if you're talking about so many things, you might be overwhelming people and losing people. And this is the truth. And this is true now more than ever with really short attention spans. People do not want everything. They don't want everything. They don't want all the extras. They want the one thing that's going to get them to where they want to go. So if you are including everything, and that doesn't mean you can't give it to them later, but when you are talking to your people and selling people, they want the one thing. So inside Elevate, this is exactly what we help people is to really clarify what they offer and to really understand, okay, this is the one thing, and I need to go talk about this one thing so confidently. Okay, this is really important. And the clients that we have that do this start to really, really nail the clients, and they start to get people even more automated. So you can see this was Michelle in May. She had 3 new triathlon clients. She sold another triathlon clients and gave her to an assistant. She has now 46 medium ticket one-to-one clients and is now working on her group. So when you start to nail this with your Rockstar offer and really understand what is the cheese, what is the thing that people actually want, and you start talking about that one thing, that's when the sales are going to come in. Same thing with Landy. She started figuring out what is that one thing. And then she started getting more sales. Okay, the second piece of this is content, which is really important. So the first thing is your Rockstar offer, which is the one thing that people actually want that you don't need to convince them. A lot of people spend a lot of time trying to convince people. I'm not trying to convince anyone to work with me. I'm just saying, hey, if you want an automated evergreen funnel, I'm your person to help you. If you would like to set it up and make sales in 5 minutes, I'm your person. So the step 2 is the content. Now, when you are in our world, and especially with our clients, someone just said this on a call with us today, one of our group calls, you always know what to talk about. People feel like that we read their mind. So you need to know your people in your content so good that they feel like you are mind reading them. Has anyone ever said that to you? Like, oh my gosh, you are so in my head. We posted, I should have put this in there, but yesterday on Instagram, I posted a kind of controversial post that said, unpopular opinion. You do not stop asking for your partner's opinion to invest. Because that is one of the objections we hear. My partner said no. And in my DMs, I was getting comments around, oh my gosh, you literally wrote that for me. It's like when you know your people so well, it's like you're reading their mind. Have you ever had an experience with that? And you know your content is so on par when people are saying that to you, oh my gosh, you're reading my mind. So the second step is to really create that mind reading content. Figure out what is on the loop, like what is the thing that they are thinking about on a loop, all of the time. And then you want to create content around that. And when you have your content, your mind reading content on your Instagram or on your podcast, you don't need to do these long, complicated launches because that's how you're starting to win people over. And the easiest way to do this is whatever your people, we talked about this last week. If you were on any of my Q&As last week, the easiest way to do this is whatever your people say to you, all you do is write it down. Like I write it on my Remarkable, whatever people say to me, and then I literally create content from that. So whatever I say, Whatever my people say to me, all I do is I mirror it back to them and then say, hey, do you want help with that? And there's a mismatch. If for example, because we work with a lot of people in the health industry, if your people are on loop talking about, oh my gosh, I need to fix my skin, I need to fix my skin, I need to fix my skin, and you're over here talking about getting healthy and getting energy back, there's going to be a mismatch. They're going to feel like you're not talking exactly to them. So that's a really tangible example, but you need to figure out what is on the loop. So if for our people are saying like, launching is tiring, launching is tiring, launching is tiring. I want to work less. I want to spend time with my kids. I don't want to sacrifice my family anymore. So I'm literally saying, if launching is going well, but it's exhausting you and you want to add in an evergreen revenue stream so you can make more money, so you can spend more time with your kids, you should apply for a scale call. I'm literally mirroring back what people are saying. So a lot of people make messaging so complicated, and you don't need to spend hours or months on your messaging. All you need to do is listen, write down the 3 things that people are saying to you the most, and create content. It is so simple, and people make it so much more complicated than that. And my clients do an amazing job with this. This is Lauren. She works with French teachers. You don't think you can differentiate without spending ages to do it. So as a reel she created, Athena. I don't know who needs to hear this, but understanding your calorie intake is not the same as restricting your food intake. So these are the things that they hear from their people all of the time. They create content and then they do these 5-minute launches. They don't need to spend hours and hours and hours making their evergreen sales so complicated, because they're doing it with their mind reading content. This is Michelle. I shared one of her wins before, but again, training more hours is the outdated way to get faster. She's a triathlon coach. This is what she hears from people. I need to train more hours. So she's literally talking about this thing, and it makes it easier for her to sell because she's creating mind reading content. You're not actually reading anyone's mind. You're just listening to what your people are saying. And I started hearing again, I just want to go evergreen. I just want to go evergreen. So what did I do? I created a guide to help people go evergreen. So I just mirror what people say. So I would love to hear in the chat, how could you do this? Like, what is one thing you hear people say all of the time that you could mirror back to them? Tell me in the chat. And chances are also, this is the thing that you think that you're like tired of talking about, or maybe you feel like you talk about it a lot, but you need to talk about it a lot more. So what is that thing that you need to mirror back? What is the thing that will allow people to say, oh my gosh, you're reading my mind? And again, just from listening to my people, this is content that we've created that I just mirror back. All I ever do is listen to my people. Oh, taking screenshots is the outdated way to collect testimonials, dispel the fear of birth. I can't make Etsy sales. Okay, awesome. And when you do this, these are the results. You're going to get people talking back. It is so simple. Now, the third piece is really important and truly cannot be overlooked. And it is the confidence factor. If you want to do a 5-minute launch, you need the Rockstar offer. You need the mind reading content. And the third piece is the confidence. You need to be so confident in what you're doing that your people feel it in their core.
See if I can start it.
Let me just mute. Okay, we're good. People can feel it. If you are wavering, if you're getting into not feeling good enough, if you are doubting yourself, people feel that energetically. If there's any doubt at all, or you not feeling good enough, you need to clear that. And you need to be able to talk to your people from a place of, I'm here to help you. I know what I'm talking about, because we all want to just naturally work with the best. We don't want to work with the person who is unsure of themselves. So to do the 5-minute launch, like, you have to be so clear in how you are the best person to help your people. Does that mean you have to be the best in the world? No, absolutely not. But you have to be the best for your perfect person. So in order for you to also uncomplicate everything, you need to do the mindset work and the energy work around being so confident that you are the best person to help your people. And as far as I'm concerned, like, that is your mission, and your responsibility is putting on the resilient mindset that you are the best person to help your people, because there's people out there who have been waiting for you, wishing for you, hoping for you, who are waiting for you to just be so confident that you are the person to help them, that you are willing to stand up and stand out and say, I can help you. Let me help you. So if there is any doubt within you at all about that you are the best person for the best people, for your best people, you need to do the work to clear that. And the other piece is excitement. Excitement. No one wants to enroll or join in something that they feel like is going to be so hard and boring. Now with us, like, obviously we have a business program, right? So it's going to take work, but I'm going to do my best to make it like the best environment and the safest environment and the most fun environment for anyone that comes into our world, because no one wants to join something that feels like it's going to take forever. It's going to be boring, and I'm going to have to work really, really hard. So how excited are you coming across to your people? Are you saying like, this is, yeah, it's going to be work and it is going to be fun. Like, just think about where you're going to get in 6 months, in 12 months, in 18 months. If you can get off the launch roller coaster and get into consistent weekly sales, like, how fun is that going to be when you're making more money more of the time? Like, we enroll people in that excitement. So how fun and how exciting are you showing up to your social media and to your launches right now? I'd love to hear. We'll use the stoplight. So green is like, I make it so fun. My people know it's going to be so fun. They love joining. Yellow is like, sometimes I make it fun, but sometimes I probably could be a little bit more excited. And red is like, I have more work to do in enrolling people, that this is going to be good. I would love to hear where you're at. Okay, greeny yellow, green. Once people are in, I'm green. I struggle to be anything but red while selling. Okay, Jordan, first of all, you're not alone. So I need you to know that. How many other people feel like Jordan? I used to 100% feel like that. I used to really, really struggle with that. And I did the work around finding the confidence to say, I know I can help you. Now, I've been doing this for 11 years. So I've been working on this for a while, but when you can really, you start to feel the click of when you are talking to the right people about the right thing. And this is going to be part of my like bonus number 5 point is you have to build the habit. Confidence is a habit. So it's not something that we wait for. It's not something we can delay. Confidence comes from practicing being confident. So you can actually build the habit of confidence, but it's just kind of like running. If you only run once a month or you only exercise once a month, how long is it going to take you to be in the habit or get good at running if you're only doing it once a month? So talking about what you do, building the habit every single day, that actually is the thing that helps you build confidence. And this is one of our other wins. Amazing. And I'm obsessed with having our clients share wins so they get in the habit of sharing wins and celebrating and building confidence. And this client actually sold teaching resources out of the blue to a school. She made $1,000 in teaching resources on this random day. because she's practiced the habit of selling and she's practiced the habit of being confident. So if you are not in that green area yet, where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so confident that I know I'm so incredibly magnetic, practice. Okay, and this was amazing. So this is Ren, one of our long-term clients, and we actually set up more of an automated system last week, and she made 2K before 10 a.m. Like, how amazing is that? And this is really important. If you work with us, if you're one of our clients, then we not only work on the strategy, we work on the mindset too, because it has to be both. And that's why in the 5-minute launch, it's building your rockstar offer, creating the mind reading content, and the confidence, because you need to be able to show up for your people and say, I am here to help you. Like, it is my responsibility and my mission to help you see that you can actually build a really rich life through your business, and it doesn't have to be complicated, and you can still be there for your family. Let me just pause and look at the chat for a second. I realize I get red. I'm realizing when I get red when speaking to a group, when I'm not confident, everyone in the group is my perfect kind of person. This seems obvious now, and I typed it. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. That's perfect. And part of it is like, it's okay that not everyone, like not all of you will be our perfect person, but there will be a handful of you who are committed, who are action takers, who are serious about building your automated evergreen in 7 hours a week and doing this, who are going to come on to work with us. Like, we know that. Is it going to be all of you? No. Is it going to be some of you who are a perfect person who is like, yes, things are good and I want it to be better? Yes. So it's okay that not everyone you're talking to is your perfect person. The perfect person is going to listen to you. They're going to hear your voice. They're going to be shifted. They're going to rise to the top. Okay. Number 4 in the 5-minute launch is audience. Now, the thing I love about this is we have always been able to do a lot with a small audience. You need the perfect people to talk to, but you actually need way less than you think. If you are creating that mind reading content where you're talking perfectly to those people, you don't need as many people as you think. I was on a one-to-one call earlier today at 1:30, and this person has a super niche audience, and her email list is 100 people. And she's like, I need more leads. And I'm like, you need to just talk to those 100 people. They're your perfect people. So I'm so excited for her to do this 5-minute launch, because she's going to make them know that they're the perfect people, and she's going to make them an offer in 5 minutes. She's going to do it tonight. She's going to send this to her 100 people, and she's going to make sales. I know that without a doubt, because you actually don't need a huge audience. You need a handful of people who are the right people, who you are mind reading them and you are selling them your rockstar offer. That is it. Does anyone feel like in here that they have a quote unquote small audience? Because everyone thinks they have a small audience. Maybe not everyone, but everyone wants their audience to be bigger. And when you get so clear on the person you help, and they want your help, and they can afford your help. Remember, I am not trying to convince anyone. I am not trying to work with the person who is struggling to get their first sale. That's not my ideal person. My ideal person is the person who's doing launches, they're having good results, and they want it to be better. They want to add in evergreen so their business can be better, so their revenue can be better, so they don't have to launch all the time, so they can be there with their kids. I am so clear on my person. If you are that person who is launching and you want to add an evergreen, and you're ready to take action, and your mindset is things are good, I want them to be better, I literally know I can help you, because I've been doing this for 11 years, because I have hundreds of clients that I have helped. And I'm not trying to convince anyone. So you need to get so clear on the person you help, and they have to want your help. They have to want help with the thing that you do. And they also have to be able to afford your help. And number 5 is speed. When it's again, it's the same thing as running. If you're only running once a month, if you're only running once a quarter, if you're only running once a year, you're not going to get that good at running. So the 5-minute launch loves speed. And the truth is, I'm not saying that you're going to figure this out overnight, that you're going to do these steps and you're going to be a millionaire overnight. I would never tell you that. But what I am saying is that when you nail these 5 steps, you can toss out complicated. You can lean out your business. You can make things so much more simpler. You can enjoy your business again. It can be fun. You can make as much money as you want to make when you do these 5 steps and when you are willing to go through it over and over again. So this needs speed. You need to be willing, like running, you need to be willing to do it as a habit. So if you're only selling one time a month, if you're only selling once a quarter, if you're only selling once a year, how good do you think you're going to get it? So this actually needs speed, and you need to do it again and again and again to be able to get it right. And that's what most people don't do, is that they're not willing to do it again and again and again, and they pull the plug too early. It's really easy to launch 1 time, 2 times, 3 times and pull the plug too early. And one of our clients, Roxana, oh my gosh, she has been working at this for months and she wanted to pull the plug. And we were able to say, okay, let's make these tweaks. Let's make these tweaks. And in the past month, she's getting clients because she didn't pull the plug too early. If you pull the plug too early, you will never know what's going to happen on the other side. You'll never know where you are meant to go and what's meant to happen if you pull the plug too early. So practice, build this habit, and don't pull the plug too early. So if you want to go deeper on these steps, if you want to go deeper on setting up your evergreen system, then apply for the scale session. We put it in the chat earlier. Dan, can you put it in the chat again? And if there's anything, Dan, you wanted to add. Okay, here it is. So to go deeper, okay, he put it in the chat. To go deeper on this, to really go deeper in your rockstar offer, in your sales system, in your audience, your mind reading content, then apply for the scale call, because we will go deeper on the one-to-one call. And if you have any questions, we can open up for questions. But I want to show you what this actually looked like and what this looked like for us in our business last week. So I have spent months and years getting to know our audience and getting to the place where I can speak to people that they feel like I'm reading their mind, because I have conversations with people every single week on every single group call we do. I have conversations in my DMs. I have conversations in comments. I hear from podcast listeners. So I have spent a long time getting to know our perfect people. Last week, we did 90K in sales, 90K plus in sales, because we have some payment plans that will come through, with 3 question and answer sessions that I did not prepare for, and 1 70-minute live stream, because I have gone through these 5 steps, because I know my rockstar offer, because I know my mind reading content, because I know my audience and I have the perfect audience who I'm getting in front of. And because I have the confidence and the speed, I'm willing to do this over and over again. So this was, which I have it right here, this was actually my post-it. I spent not even 5 minutes. I knew, okay, these are the things I'm hearing from people. My people really want to talk about time management because they're home with their kids. They really want to talk about standing out in their niche. They really want to talk about, how do I move forward with my idea? How do I make money quick? So I went live. I jotted these things down before I went live for 70 minutes. I actually didn't even talk about each one of them because I ran out of time and I wanted to remember to talk about my live event in Sedona, Arizona. So I wrote that down, but this is it. I did the 5-minute launch because I have these 5 pieces already. And you can get rid of the complication and you can basically make money whenever you want. And you can automate this and we can show you how to do this. But the point is, we can toss out the complicated launches. So this is what it looks like. Know the one problem your people want solved right now. Know the one thing. So I had a few things here, but this was the main thing we talked about last week on that live. How do I manage my time in the summer when I want to make money, but my kids are home and I want to hang out with them? That was the one problem we talked about because that's what my people want solved right now. How do I do evergreen and be with my kids? I spoke and I answered questions on that confidently. You could throw any question at me. I'm confident I'll be able to answer it on that topic. I had a solid offer they wanted. I gave them a reason to buy now. They only had, actually at the time of the live stream, they only had a few hours left and an easy checkout. No jumping through hoops. Yes, I spoke for 70 minutes. Yes, I prepped for 5. Exactly. You probably could go live for 5 minutes, but it's the prep. 5 minutes. I wrote these down and I sent an email that said, I'm live. I'm going to be talking about this. It took 5 minutes. 5 minutes to prep because I already know, I've already done the work. I've done the work up until this point to know what my people want to listen to. 5 minutes before get my checkout link ready. And it only takes people 5 minutes to decide they're in, not even. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to buy right then. They might have to go talk to their partner. They might have to get things ready, but they've decided. They have already decided. They might have to work things out, but they have already decided. When you do these 5 things, they have already decided. So this is why it worked. And this is how I buy too. I would love to hear if this is how you buy too. This is how my people buy. They find me, they listen to my podcast. Usually they binge on my podcast. And it's funny because I've been podcasting since February 2017, or is it 2015? I've been podcasting for a very long time. So they'll binge my podcast, or they'll watch me videos. They will hear me speak. They will see I'm a real person. They will see I have real clients with success. They've already decided to buy. I don't have to convince them. They're already in. Exactly. A mini masterclass. And it doesn't have to be this crazy thing. So again, this is why it worked. And let me know, like, we have people who come in from our ads. We had this last week. We had people who literally joined my live stream last week. They had no idea who I was, but they got on the live stream and they bought. They find me, they listen to me, they hear me speak, they see I'm real, they see I have clients because all of that's on my Instagram, and they decide to buy. Now, are there people who say no? Of course. I'm not saying every person who comes into my world buys. That's statistically impossible. More people say no to me than say yes, of course. But this is how the people who work with me work. And this can be the same for you. Yes, Shoshana, I am seeing that shorter is better right now. And it's like the overcomplicating and the overwhelming. People are overwhelmed in so many areas of their life. I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to take overwhelm away. And the right people are literally ready to buy from you now. They just need to hear from you, and they need you to confidently say, you need this and I can help you. And I promise you, it can literally be this simple. And if you want it to be this simple and you want help, because every single person, if you have big goals, you need mentorship. If you want someone to sit with you one-to-one on the phone, apply for the scale session. And this is really important because this all hinges on you being willing to say and give off the energy, I can help you with that. I know I can help you with that. Launches take months and months and months to plan. If launching is not in alignment with you, if making money only every month, every quarter, every year isn't working for you and you want to add in evergreen revenue, do something that works for you and uncomplicate it. And if you want help with that, I can help you with that. It's literally that simple. So to recap the 5-minute launch, you need a rockstar offer that people want and are willing to pay for, not trying to convince anyone. You need mind reading content. You need confidence and you need the right niche audience, way less amount of people than you think, and speed. Those are the 5 steps. So you can do anything with this. When you have these 5 steps, I can go live and I can sell anything. I can send out an email to my list and sell anything. I can do a video and put it on YouTube and put it on the landing page and sell anything with these 5 steps. But you need speed because you need to do it over and over again so you can get it right. If your rockstar offer is a little off, that's okay. Do it again. And don't pull the plug too early. Do it over and over again and make it fun. Like, business is not meant to be torturous for us. Make it fun. Okay, so I think that's all I have here. A scale session to go through this with your team. If you need help figuring out mind reading content, if you need help with your confidence, so you're 110% in alignment with going on and talking about selling your stuff, if you need help with your rockstar offer, if you need help with growing your audience, apply for the scale session. We literally can help you with this. Okay, I would love to hear, I can open up for questions. I would love to hear your favorite thing. And Dan, normally I pause to let Dan speak, but somehow I didn't. I don't even know what time it is.
It is 10 to 5.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Longer.
Yeah, you were in a group, so I just let you go. I mean, the one thing that I would love to just kind of, one of my favorite things to talk about is as a quote unquote small audience. And most people come to us and they say, I want to make more money, so I need a bigger audience. And we feel that this is kind of almost backwards way of thinking. And the only way for you to make more money with a small audience is to start selling to that current audience and learn what exactly it is that they want, so that we can learn the messaging around the content and the audience growth strategies we need to do so we can grow an audience of buyers. I was just talking to someone today, one of our Facebook ad clients, and she said, hey, how's my ad doing? And I said, well, in terms of leads, it's doing really well, but you have to tell me, are you getting sales? And so it led us down this whole different conversation of, we're not just talking about leads. We're not just talking about audience growth. We're talking about sales here. And one of the things I said to her is that, hey, we're doing evergreen sales now. You have to get sales every single week. And if you're not, we have to take a hard look at the opt-in, at the messaging, at everything, because that's our bottom dollar here. So I would love to open up and we can answer some questions. We can talk through any ideas you guys have, any questions you have. Like we said, we want this to be a workshop, and I would love to hear some questions. So if you have a question, you can put it in the chat and then we can kind of talk through it. Shoshana, the fact that it can be short and to the point. Yes, exactly. And I think even a year ago, but definitely like 2 or 3 years ago, all the rage was, 45, 90-minute webinars where it's just like, get people on, talk to them for 45 to 90 minutes and sell. And that's not working anymore. It's not working in terms of costs per lead. It's very expensive to get people to sign up for something like that. It's very difficult to get people to show up to something like that. And then it's very difficult to get people to stay through something like that. So shorter is better. It is definitely a challenge, but it's one of those challenges that you should really accept in your business, is how can you take what you need to say and shorten it?
And I'll also say too, is more direct. Like, people don't want a disguised sales pitch the whole time. Like, just be direct and tell people what you have to offer and how you help them. Like, people value not wasting their time and being direct. So the more direct you can be, and that's why we open the gate with, like, if you want our help with this, apply for a scale call. If you want our help with this, if you want to be supported through this, then you should be in Elevate, which is our program. Like I have no qualms about it. I will sit and I will share and I will deliver free content, but I'm not going to sit here and give you a hidden sales pitch. So people value you being incredibly direct, and they'll actually respect you more for that.
Yeah. So Stephanie has a question. How can this be effective for my skincare business and team building efforts? So I'm assuming this is more of like a product-based business with an MLM, like multi-level marketing. You have a team selling for you, and it all comes down to offer. You need to figure out what your offer is and what your people want. So you're not selling the product, you're selling the results, and that's something we can kind of come back to again and again. And and in terms of your team, once you figure out what that result is, what you're selling, you can help your team do that as well, and they can start selling more too. But most people focus on the product and they say, you need this product. They don't need the product, they need the result. And one of the things I will say, we don't work with a lot of people in the MLM industry, but what we have noticed when we do work with them is that you need to be setting up your own brand and your own audience and not relying on the companies. I'm just going to like the other business. It needs to be about you. And a lot of times business owners hide behind an MLM and say, this isn't about me, it's about the product. No, they're buying from you. They trust you. And so you should step into that and really step into that confidently. And so hopefully, Stephanie, that helps. If you have any other questions, we can really talk more about that. But yeah. Yeah, Jordan, definitely. Please open up.
Okay, so my massive breakthrough during this call was realizing that my lack of confidence is rooted in being afraid that people in the audience are not my perfect people, and letting that niggle at the back of my mind instead of focusing on the people who are my perfect people. A classic example is my mom likes to come onto my lives. And she does not understand business at all, and she's trying to be supportive, but I have
Yeah.
at the back of my mind, oh, my mom's listening to this. So
Yeah.
I've known that, and I've gotten past like that big picture. But do you have any more thoughts of how to dig into this more? Because I have put a picture of my perfect person
Mm,
on the screen. I have focused on their name in the chat when I know that this is the ideal person, but there's something there that I need to dig
yeah.
at deeper, to not just focus on the right person, but cut out the noise of
Yeah.
the people who aren't my perfect person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so good. I'm gonna start, Dan, then I'll let
All
you
right.
talk.
That's fair.
Um, I always love I always love to talk about this strategically and energetically mindset. So both, because usually everything is both. And that's why we talk inside Elevate, everything is both. I will give you the strategy and the mindset, because it's usually not just one thing, it's deeper. So what I will say is I was going to say strategically, like talk to that one person, talk to that perfect client. But I'm also curious, like, what's like your worst case scenario if everyone on there would be not your perfect person? Like, what are you afraid is going to happen?
I think part of it is afraid of like being misunderstood and the judgment that comes from that. And because like I said, with my mom or somebody who's not in the business realm, they don't get it. And
Mhm.
so they can ask, why is it so expensive or something like that. And that's really gets in my head. That's what comes to mind when you ask that
Yeah,
question.
that's so good. How many people relate to that? I used to feel like that. I used to feel like that too. And what you said is they don't get it. And that's the point that that I really need you to understand is they don't get it. They cannot understand what you're going through because they're not on this journey. So we can't expect them to get it. And at the same time, I have to make peace with the fact that my friends do not get what I do. They do not get what I'm going through, and I'm not talking to them about it. And if I don't share my message so confidently, I might miss the chance to change someone's life. So I've had to make peace with every single thing that my friends or family or people I went to college or high school could ever say. And the more I made peace with that, the more people actually came around and said, wow, I give you so much credit. My friends used to literally make fun of me to my face, like 11 years ago when I had a blog. Literally made fun of it. I have been through it, but you need to know that they're not going to get it, and surround yourself with normalizing this for you, that like you're on a different journey, you're on an entrepreneurial journey. Inside Elevate, we talk about like being icons. You're an icon in your life, like in your house, in your community, with your friends. Like you are doing something so different that most people can't even comprehend. And if you can just know that and speak to only the person whose life you are going to change, if you speak to them in the right way, the more you take back your power from that, the more people can say things to you. And it is about building resilience too, as a business owner, is like, and like people could say anything to me, and that doesn't mean, like, I might get upset for a second, but I know, no, I have lives to change, and I'll come back and I will repeat and I'll repeat and I'll repeat, and anyone can say anything to me. But if you're not my perfect person, it's not my job to listen. Like, it's not my job to care. It's a practice too. Like I've been doing this 11 years, and they did take me out for a while. So it's a practice. Like, you're doing what you need to do. You keep showing up. You can't pull the plug because you're afraid of what they say.
Thank you.
You can talk back. Like, you can say what that brings up for you.
Digging deeper, it's the actual fear, I think, is being afraid that they're right. And that being that icon, being that person out in front, like I'm crying a little bit here. This is getting real, and I'm really grateful. All my life I have been that person out in front, that person that is different, and so it's really hard when I don't have the evidence for this new thing, this new level, to show people who don't get it, to keep moving forward and not listen to their voices that say that we're wrong. Like the people saying just get a day job are really, really, really loud right now.
Yeah. I have been there. We've been there. Like I said, I've been doing this 11 years. Probably 6 years ago, which was almost 6 years into us building a business online, my in-laws, we had already been making like multi six figures online. And my in-laws said to Dan, we will pay for you to go back to school to be an accountant. And we were like, what do you mean? Like, because they didn't get it. And it was, like at first it was like, oh, this is so rude. Like, you are so rude, but they just don't get it. Like, they have nothing to compare. Dan's brother's a lawyer. His sister has a doctorate and she teaches. They have nothing. My father-in-law worked at one company until he retired. Like, they have nothing to compare you to. And when people can't put you into a box, they don't know what to do with you. And you have to decide, are you going to talk to them? And you can talk to them. You don't have to. And enroll them in your vision. You don't have to. You don't owe them that. But being an entrepreneur is trusting that the evidence will come. And it's like, believing is seeing. If you keep believing, you will see the evidence. But if you pull the plug, like, do you think Oprah or Elon Musk, I mean, whatever you think about Elon Musk, like when he was building Tesla or SpaceX, like, do you think anyone believed him? Or did he just have trust and say, I'm going to do this until I see the evidence? And that's what happened. My friend literally yesterday, who was at the breakfast table on Christmas Eve, however many years ago, who was one of the people who was like making fun of me to my face yesterday, literally yesterday, I went to drop off hand-me-downs to her daughter, and she literally said to me, I sent your stories to my husband and said, what are we doing wrong that we're working all the time and Nicole's at the beach? She said that to me yesterday after literally over a decade ago laughing in my face. So my friends aren't laughing anymore. They're not. But I had to show up literally for 11 years and not pull the plug. So all your job is to keep believing in what you're doing. I would highly recommend you getting in a group of people who is normalizing this for you, to like a group of people who are doing big things, who are saying like, Jordan, this is normal. What you're going through is normal. We talk about this inside Elevate every single week because moms, dads, in-laws, partners. I'm so lucky to have a partner who, when I said to him, when we had our second kid, I need more time to work, he didn't say, well, the evidence isn't there. He said, let's figure out a way. So I know not everyone has that type of partner. If
I
you
do.
you need to, that's amazing.
Awesome.
You
Yeah.
need to find other people outside of him who are going where you want to go, because you are not actually the crazy one. Like, well, I'll take that back. Like, we all are a little crazy and weird. We wouldn't be able to do this if we weren't crazy and weird. But like, it's so normal what you are doing, and you can't listen to the people who just don't understand you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I know I need to find those people. It feels incredibly out of reach right now. Just take one more minute to be a little raw and honest. We My husband and I run the business together, and he's awesome, the most incredible partner I can imagine. Um, but we just our home is full of toxic mold, and so we're technically homeless right now. And so it's just like this whole, it feels out of reach to just say join this mastermind or go to this place or move to this city, because we have nothing right now,
Mhm.
and they won't let us out of the lease. So basically we're paying rent on a house that we can't go into, or a home. It's the details are neither here nor there. Thank you for just letting me
Yeah.
process this for a second. It feels so out of reach. So thank you for doing this live, because I know it's not out of reach today because
Mhm.
I'm here with you. That's what
Oh,
I'm trying to
thank
get at
you.
and to say. So thank you
Yeah.
very, very much.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean that you can't find free communities either.
Mm.
Like, obviously, paid, I would love to see you inside our program when you're ready for it, but find a local community you can meet up with. And the other thing I'll say is getting to the last thing, and then if there's any more questions, um, getting to safety and money like is really important. So I need that to be like the priority for you, is figuring out, how do I get my monthly bills paid so I feel really safe so I can scale my business? That is going to be really important for you. So figure out how you can do that. And the only way for you to do that is to confidently talk about what you are doing. So figure that out. But like, what you're doing is so normal, and we'll send you the replay. You can watch this as many times as you want. You can download my podcast and keep me in your ear, to know like what you're going through is normal, and don't pull the plug.
Thank you so much. Really needed that message not to pull the plug today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Stephanie, is this more for coaching? Oh my gosh, we work with people across all niches. We work with photographers, we work with nutritionists, we work with marriage counselors, we work with personal trainers. So no, we do not only work with people who teach people how to make money. So no, it's definitely not just for coaching. Okay, Laura, do you want to open up? Okay.
I didn't know you were talking to me. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm talking to the Laura, which Laura LeBlanc, it looks like.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Oh, so is this your question? What about the course I'm creating does not light me up, but it's what clients want? All the more reason to go evergreen?
No.
Okay, the other Laura, the other Laura.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just cleaning my house. Sorry, guys. So what I've come to realize is that my followers want to know like specifically what ingredients to use to cook flare-free, which is my style of cooking food that doesn't cause autoimmune flare-ups. And I don't like talking about products. It drives me crazy. I find it extremely tedious. I find it repetitive. I find it it doesn't light me up. But I realize that people feel like they can't start cooking this way until they know like what to cook with, and they change their whole pantry, which is something that I don't advocate for. I don't think that people need to spend $300, $400, $500 changing their whole pantry and then realizing I don't know what to do with any of this stuff. So what I do is I sell memberships, which include monthly meal plans, which have recipes, shopping lists, all of this stuff. So I just tell people just cook the meal plan, take it recipe by recipe. And if you're a member for 3 months or 6 months, you'll stock your pantry. But people are just so obsessed with ingredients and it does not light me up. So I'm developing a course that will help people transform their pantry into an anti-inflammatory powerhouse in 8 weeks or less without wasting any of the food that they already have. But it doesn't light me up. So I'm just like, should I just give the people what they want or not?
So yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of a tough question because there's a fine line here. You have to do what lights you up, but sometimes we look at business as something to entertain us, where we have to look at it as like, hey, this is going to make me money and I can serve my people the best way. To me, it sounds a little bit like kind of the order of things. It sounds like they're coming to you and saying like, oh, I want to throw out everything in my pantry and buy this new stuff. And you're like, whoa. We have to start this way and do things this way. So I think there's probably a way to meet this in the middle of, you don't have to do something you hate. I don't think that's a really good idea for anyone. And I think it is a matter of reframing to your people what it is they actually need to do, but also giving them what they want. So it's like, yes, you can throw out everything in your pantry, but do A, B, C, and D first before we get there. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds right. I think that's kind of why I landed on that topic of the course, where it says in the tagline, without wasting any of the food you already have. So I hope that will resonate with people as well. I haven't pitched it yet. I want to try to sell it before I actually finish developing it, but
yes, do that.
It's a work in progress.
And the one thing here is this is like really where you have to be a detective and be really, really conscious of what are the people asking for, and see if you need to give them what they want, or if you almost need to challenge them and be like, you actually shouldn't throw everything out in your pantry. You should do it this way. Or if you need to say, yes, you should throw out everything in your pantry, but do this first. And it sounds like a nuance, but this is really important, because they're going to attract to one of those messages and be repelled from the other, even though you're kind of saying the same thing. So that's really my question is, I'm not sure what would resonate better with them. So this is a great chance to test it. And when you talk about one of these things, do you get responses? Do you get people engaged? Do you get people answering questions or asking questions? And then of course, do you get people to buy?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Does that make sense? Any other questions on that?
yeah, I think that gave me some good ideas for some polls I can do in my stories to get some ideas of, like where they would like to start. Like, does the idea of spending $300 to completely transform your pantry sound good to you, or would you rather slowly replace what you have with a better healing ingredient and see kind of like how that goes?
Yeah, because that's the other thing is that I don't know, like depending on your audience, they might say like, no, I have to get rid of everything and I have to do it now. And in that
Right.
case, you may need to kind of adjust the
I'll
way that you
I'll
deliver the
pivot
course. Yeah.
right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and this is something that like, especially when we go evergreen, we really need to pay attention to these nuances. In January, we had some trouble with our leads and our sales, and like it just wasn't kind of matching that well. And I thought it was like a Facebook ads problem, like technically we were doing something wrong. And I talked to someone we're close with about it, and he was just like, no, what you're talking about is not resonating with your people. Change your opt-in, change your message. And it wasn't like throw everything out. It was just like make a small
Tweaking
tweak
it.
and make a small tweak. And that little tweak changed everything. And it's also like those small tweaks lead you down a different path. And it's just like, it kind of what Nicole is saying is like week after week after week after week, making those small incremental changes and trying to get better and better at the messaging, at the selling. And when you
So it
have that
wasn't the
sales,
actual like offer that you changed, or it wasn't the course that you changed. It was kind of
no,
how you offered it that changed.
exactly. It wasn't,
Okay.
it wasn't even the offer. It wasn't the course. It was the freebie. We had to change the messaging
Oh,
on
okay.
our freebie to get more of the right people into the freebie so we could talk to more of the right people about our offer. And so
Right.
that's how nuanced this is, but it's really important. And this is why I love Evergreen, is because this is a challenge we should all be trying to solve. And it's
Right.
really important.
Awesome. So I'm sorry, I don't want to take up any more time, but
No, don't
the
apologize.
program that you guys do, does it have a one-on-one component where you help people with their evergreen funnel to make sure they're doing it right, or is it like follow these steps and
Yeah. So what
do it
we
on your
have is,
own?
I mean, it's extremely high touch. It's done with you. You work with us.
Okay.
You have some one-to-one calls. We have group calls. Our goal, we have at least 3 calls every single week that you can get on and workshop your questions, because this is what we have found is if I give you a course and I just say, goodbye, see you in 3 weeks, see you in 3 months, you are going to run into problems that you cannot solve by yourself. So you really need our support so that we can adjust your messaging and adjust your offer, adjust everything based on the feedback that you're getting. Because I can't, like I just said, I can't predict how your people are going to respond to it. But once you come back to me and you say, hey, when I talk about this, crickets, when I talk about this, good things happen. Okay, how can we talk more about that? How can we go in that direction? And we're not magicians where it's like one day everything's fixed. It's week by week. It's putting the work in and showing up to the calls and asking the questions. And also it's asking those right questions of, and to me, the biggest question is, how do I get a sale this week? How do we get 1 sale this week? And after we get 1 sale, how do we get 2 sales? How do we get 3 sales? How do we get 100 sales? Whatever that next increment is, because these are the questions that are going to lead you down the path that's going to make you a lot of money. And if you're just kind of waiting and saying, I just need to build my audience, I just need to do this, those are more distractions. And this is how we really cut to the chase. And we say, don't work more than 10 hours, make money every day, and work on your messaging and do this. And it's by cutting out the distractions and keeping that sole focus on make money every single week that leads to a lot of good things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Thank you for chatting.
Anyone else have any other questions before we wrap up? I put the scale application in the chat one more time. So again, if you fill that out, Dan, do you want to tell them a little bit about the call before we go?
Yeah, so the scale, this is an application. The reason we have an application, I think Nicole went over this a little bit in the beginning, is that we really want to talk to the perfect people. And if we think you're the right fit, that we can help you, this one-to-one call is going to be a walkthrough of what you need to do in terms of marketing, in terms of step-by-step, in terms of like your offer, so that you can start getting evergreen sales. We really should charge for this call, but we do not. This is a free call. There is no strings attached. You are going to walk away with a plan to get evergreen sales. If at the end of the call you want support implementing the plan, the two of you, that you come up with Candace, then you guys can talk about how we can support you and what that looks like. But this call is extremely valuable. We've had people, Candace has been doing these calls for the last 2 months. I used to do them. She is so much better at them than myself. She spends so much time to really get to the root problem. Not that I'm a terrible person, but she is just so good at getting to the root cause of your issues and taking the time to work through it and giving you so many ideas of how to get over some roadblocks. And then of course, we would love to have you inside Elevate if it is a right fit, but we always come from a place of service. So this call is really all about you and how we can support you. And then if you feel like you want our support implementing it, of course, we would love to have you inside Elevate, and we can talk more about that when the time comes. So I would highly encourage all of you to just book that call, have that conversation with Candace, allow us to blow you away with some of our ideas and our plan, and then we can talk more about if we can support you with that.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, you will get the replay to this. And then if you have any follow-up questions, just reach out. We look forward to getting your applications. And yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, everyone.